The cage smelled like rust, oil, and old fear. It stood in the center of a dimly lit trading post on the edge of the galaxy. Beings from 100 worlds walked past it, searching for weapons, spices, machines, and slaves. She was one of those slaves. She sat still in the back of the cage, back straight, legs crossed, her eyes staring at nothing. Her skin was pale blue, bruised in places. Her long, tangled hair, golden like sand, hung in messy ropes over her shoulders. Her clothes were torn armor, once proud and strong, now only reminders of who she had been. Her name was gone. Her people were gone. And now, she was nothing. The slaver, a fat creature with thick green scales, had tried to sell her many times. Buyers would stop, look, and sneer. She's broken, they said. Useless. Not even worth feeding. Some slaves cried. Some begged. But not her. She never spoke. That silence made the slaver uneasy, made buyers nervous. A slave who did not cry was harder to break, and a slave who would not beg, she was dangerous. Still, the slaver kept her. Maybe just to remind others of what happened to the proud ones. And then one day the human came. He didn't look rich. His boots were dusty, his jacket was old and faded. He had short black hair, a bit messy, and dark eyes that looked like they had seen too much. He didn't walk like a buyer. He didn't laugh, didn't shout. He moved through the market slowly, past cages of strange animals, past rows of glittering stones, past the slaves begging for someone to choose them. Then he stopped in front of her cage. For the first time in many days, she raised her eyes. He was looking at her, not with disgust, not with pity, just looking. Then he asked, "How much for her?" The slaver laughed. "That one worthless. She don't talk, don't move, don't even eat unless you force her." The man just stood there, silent. "You want her?" The slaver shrugged. "Fine. Give me 20 credits and take the thing." The man didn't argue. He dropped a few coins on the table, walked over, unlatched the cage, and then he held out his hand. She stared at it. No one had ever done that. Not in the cage. Not in her life as a prisoner. She didn't trust him. Of course she didn't. But there was nothing left to lose. She slowly reached out and touched his hand. It was warm. Rough. Real. He helped her out of the cage. No chains. No collar. Just space. The market bustled around them. No one cared. They walked together, her steps unsure. She kept looking around, expecting a trick, expecting him to shove her into another cage, to throw her down and laugh, to say it was all a game, but he didn't. He led her to a ship, small, old, and ugly. The kind of ship made for work, not for show. He stepped up the ramp and turned back, nodding for her to come. She stopped at the edge. "Why?" she asked, her voice low, raspy from disuse. He looked at her for a moment. "Because you deserve better than that cage," he said. Her heart jumped in a way she didn't understand. Inside, the ship smelled of metal and oil. Clean, compared to the market, familiar. He gave her a ration pack and pointed to a seat. She sat slowly, opened the food, ate. It had been so long since she'd eaten anything that wasn't thrown at her. He sat across from her, watching, calm. "Name's Jin," he said. "You?" She paused. She used to have a name. Once. But now, it felt far away. Like someone else's memory. "I don't have one," she whispered. Jin nodded. "Then we'll find one." Silence filled the room. But it wasn't a cold silence. It wasn't the silence of chains. It was soft, gentle, like space itself was waiting for her to speak. "Where are we going?" she asked. "Somewhere safe," he said. "Somewhere you can choose what to do next." She blinked. Choose? What did that even mean? No one had ever given her a choice before. The ship lifted off. The stars outside stretched long and thin as they jumped into light speed. She stared at them, heart racing. She felt something she hadn't felt in years. Hope. And that scared her more than anything. She didn't sleep that night. Too many thoughts. Too much fear. Jin didn't bother her. He gave her space, brought her water, then left her alone in the crew cabin. In the morning, though time had little meaning in space, he made tea. The smell filled the room. Earth tea. Simple, warm. She sat down across from him again. "You don't talk much," Jin said, sipping his cup. She didn't answer at first. Then, "Talking used to get me hurt." Jin nodded. "I get that." She studied him. He didn't look strong. Not like the guards who had kept her in chains. Not like the warriors who destroyed her home. But he was strong in a different way. Quiet. Still. "What do you want from me?" she asked. "Nothing." She frowned. "That's not true. No one does something for nothing." "You're not a thing," Jin said. His voice didn't rise, but there was steel in it. "You were a prisoner. I helped you out, that's all." She didn't believe him. Not fully, but part of her wanted to. And that was dangerous. Later, he gave her clothes. Not armor, not rags. Just simple pants and a shirt. Soft. Clean. She looked in the mirror and didn't know the girl staring back. No bruises, no collar, no chains. Who was she? Not a slave, not a soldier. Just a girl. "I can drop you off at the next station," Jin said later. "Or you can stay. Up to you." Up to her. Everything was up to her now, and that weight was heavy. "What if I don't belong anywhere?" she asked. Jin turned, looked at her with calm eyes. "Then we figure it out. Together." She wanted to ask why. Why did he care? But the answer was in his eyes. He had once been like her. Lost. Alone. And someone had helped him. Now he was passing it on. The station came into view a few days later. It floated in the darkness like a city of stars. Lights blinked, ships docked and undocked, beings from every race moved inside. Freedom was just beyond the airlock. She stood near the door, watching. She could run, disappear, start again, or she could stay. Jin stood by the ramp, not looking at her. He didn't beg her to stay, didn't ask her to follow. The choice was real. She stepped off the ship. Her legs felt weak. Her heart pounded. Jin walked ahead, blending into the crowd. She could leave now. But her feet didn't move. A group of slavers passed by. She recognized the markings. Her body stiffened. "You okay?" Jin asked, quietly stepping back beside her. She nodded, but she wasn't sure. Freedom wasn't simple. It was hard, confusing. But she didn't want to walk away from the only person who had seen her as something more. "I think I'll stay," she said. Jin gave a small nod. No smile, no cheer. Just quiet understanding. She stayed on the station. For weeks, worked odd jobs, cleaned ships, watched people. She was learning, changing. She started talking more, laughing sometimes, eating real meals. Jin stayed close, but never too close. He gave her space, let her grow. One day she stood in front of a mirror again. Her hair was brushed, her eyes were clear. She still didn't have a name, but she had a future. The station was alive with voices, engines, and lights. Ships came and went, carrying people with purpose. She watched them every day. She worked, she listened, she learned. She still didn't have a name, but now she didn't feel like a slave. Not anymore. Every morning she walked with Jin to the repair bays. He worked fixing engines. She helped. She was good at it, better than most. Machines didn't lie. They didn't hurt. They didn't ask questions. Jin let her take the lead. She fixed circuits, tightened bolts, found problems others missed. People started noticing. "She's quiet, but sharp," one engineer said. "She's fast," said another. "She saved my ship." The words felt strange. She wasn't used to praise, but she liked it. One night, she sat across from Jin in the little diner they visited sometimes. The food was warm. The air smelled like spice and grease. Jin looked up from his meal. You ever think about what comes next? She blinked. What do you mean? Do you want to stay here forever? Fix ships forever? She looked down, thought about it. I don't know. Jin nodded. That's okay. She looked up. Do you know what's next for you? He smiled a little. Not really. I just go where I'm needed. You helped me, she said quietly. He looked at her, calm and kind. You helped yourself. I just opened the cage. She went quiet for a while. Then, I want a name. Jin smiled. Any name in mind? She paused. Then she said it softly. Kayla. Jin nodded. Kayla, that suits you. And just like that, she had a name again. Kayla. Kayla kept working. Her hands became stronger, her back straighter, her eyes sharper. She stopped flinching when someone raised their voice. She didn't panic in crowds anymore, but the past still lived inside her. Some nights she had nightmares, chains, screams, the smell of blood and smoke. Jin never asked, but he always brought tea in the morning after she had a bad night. He never pushed. He never judged, he just stayed. That mattered. One day, a job came to the station. A freighter had crashed near the edge of a dead moon. Emergency signal. No crew response. The station manager called for volunteers to investigate. Kayla heard Jin's name called. And hers. She wasn't sure she wanted to go, but she didn't say no. The ship was cold and silent when they reached it, half buried in gray dust, its hull torn by impact. No signs of life. Kayla stepped inside, flashlight in hand. Jin walked beside her. The air was thin. The walls creaked. Then they heard it. A soft sound. A child's cry. They followed it. Down a corridor. Past broken lights and fallen panels, they found her. A small alien girl, barely 5 years old. Big eyes. Thin arms. Shaking. Kayla knelt beside her. It's okay. We're here to help. The girl didn't understand the words, but she saw Kayla's face, saw something kind, something safe. She reached out with trembling fingers. Kayla picked her up gently, held her close. She remembered what it felt like to be that small, that scared. Jin helped them back to the ship. They brought the girl to the station doctor. She's malnourished, but she'll live, the doctor said. Kayla stayed with her through the night. She spoke soft words, told her stories about stars and ships and freedom. The girl didn't understand the words, but she smiled anyway. News of Kayla's rescue spread fast. Brave, people said. Fearless. She saved a child. Kayla didn't feel brave. She just remembered what it meant to be alone. And now she was someone who helped, not someone who was thrown away. Weeks passed. The girl recovered. Kayla visited her every day, brought food, told more stories. They laughed, played, and something changed in Kayla. She wasn't afraid anymore. She started standing taller, speaking louder, laughing more. She started flying small, missions with Jin. He taught her how to fly the ship, how to chart stars, how to read old maps. She was a fast learner, and one day Jin said, "You're ready." "Ready for what?" she asked. He tossed her the keys to the ship. "Your own journey." Kayla stared at them. "Wait," she said. "You're giving me your ship?" "You've earned it." "But why?" Jin smiled. "Because you're not a prisoner anymore. You're not lost. You're Kayla. You've got a name, a voice, and a future. Time to fly." She held the keys tight in her hand. It felt heavy, but not in a bad way, like a gift, like freedom. Kayla didn't leave right away. She said goodbye to the girl, who now lived with a kind family on the station. She hugged Jin. "I don't know if I'm ready," she whispered. "No one ever is," Jin said. "But you'll figure it out." She stepped aboard the ship. Her ship now. She touched the controls, felt the engine hum beneath her feet. She smiled. Then she launched into the stars. The galaxy was wide and wild, Kayla traveled from moon to moon, planet to planet. She fixed ships, helped travelers, rescued the lost. She made credits, made friends, built a name. People knew her now. Captain Kayla, strong, quiet, brave. One day she got a message. A slaver ring, one of the worst, had been spotted near the outer rim. A station was calling for help. Kayla didn't hesitate. She flew straight into the dark. The slaver ship was massive, armed, cruel. She didn't care. She had been in a cage once. Now she broke them. She attacked fast, smart, disabled their engines, hacked their systems, took out their shields. Then she stormed the prison bay. Inside were cages, chains, beaten faces. Just like before, she tore the cages open. "Get out," she shouted. "You're free." Some cried, some ran, some stared at her like she was a dream. She fought through the guards, kicked hard, hit fast. No mercy. She was not afraid. She found the command room, faced the slaver captain. He sneered. "Who do you think you are?" Kayla stepped forward, eyes hard, voice steady. "I was sold for nothing," she said. "But I'm worth everything now." And she knocked him out cold. She brought the rescued to safety, helped them find homes, gave them food, gave them names. She stayed with them for days, told them her story, showed them her scars. "I'm not special," she said, "but I survived, and so will you." And they believed her. Years passed. Kayla became a legend, not because she was the strongest, not because she was the fastest, but because she never forgot what it meant to be broken, and she never let anyone stay broken if she could help it. She got letters from the girl she rescued long ago. The child grew strong too, wanted to fly ships like Kayla. She still visited Jin sometimes. He was older, slower but proud. "You did it," he said one day. Kayla smiled. "No, we did." He laughed. "Maybe." He handed her something small, a silver pin engraved on it. "You are not your cage." Kayla held it tight. One night she looked out at the stars from the deck of her ship. She thought about her past, her pain, her fear, but she also thought about her name, her voice, her strength. She whispered to the stars, "Thank you." Not to any god, not to fate, but to the human who gave her a choice. Jin. She was sold for nothing, but she had become everything. Not a slave, not a pet, not a tool. Just Kayla. Captain. Free.